"So this is how my nephew repays me," the old man said, his voice terrifyingly calm, holding his war cutlass as he stood before the barn his wife and his nephew frequented. Annie was only 20 when her parents brought the proposal. Chief Adeyemi, the famous farmer whose yam harvest fed 3 villages, wanted her as his 5th wife. At 68, he was older than her own father, but his wealth was legendary. "This is a blessing," her mother said, adjusting Annie's head wrap. "You'll never lack anything." Annie said nothing. Her family was drowning in debt, and Chief Adeyemi's bride price would save them from ruin. The wedding was grand, but that night, as the old farmer snored beside her, Annie felt like she had been buried alive. 3 months later, Femi arrived from the city. The chief's nephew, 25 and fresh from university, had come to learn the family business. When his eyes met Annie's across the compound courtyard, the words stopped. "This is my newest wife, Annie," Chief Adeyemi announced proudly, his wrinkled hand possessive on her shoulder. "She will prepare your meals." "Thank you, Auntie," Femi said quietly. But his eyes held hers a second too long. Every morning, Annie brought Femi his breakfast. Every evening, she served his dinner. They barely spoke at first, but the silence between them grew heavy with unspoken words. One evening, Femi finally broke. "You're too young to be here. You should be living your life." Annie's hands trembled. No one had acknowledged this truth since her marriage. "It's not my choice to make." "Whose choice was it then?" he asked. "Everyone but me," she said, and before he could say another word, she turned to leave, tears streaming down her face. Because Femi was the first person who had seen her as human, not property. The attraction between them grew like wildfire. Stolen glances across the compound. Accidental touches that sent electricity through them both. They fought it, but they were losing. One night during a rainstorm, Annie slipped in the mud. Strong hands caught her. "I can't stop thinking about you," Femi confessed, rain streaming down his face. "I know it's wrong. I know it's betrayal. But Annie, I'm losing my mind." "Then lose it," she whispered. "I lost mine the first day I saw you." She closed the distance between them. They became experts at stolen moments. Midnight meetings in the cassava barn. Whispered confessions behind the yam storage. Kisses that burned like palm wine in the blood. They were careful, always watching for the other wives who would eagerly report any scandal to gain favor with the chief. But Chief Adeyemi was no fool. He had survived 7 decades through cunning, not luck. He noticed how Annie's face brightened when Femi entered the room. He saw how his nephew volunteered to check storage buildings that Annie happened to be cleaning. One of the other wives, jealous and spiteful, confirmed his suspicions with whispered observations. The old man said nothing at first. He watched and waited, his anger growing cold and calculated. Then one night, he pretended to leave for a village council meeting but instead circled back through the darkness. He knew exactly where to find them.